of the participants. And finally, please refrain from coaching the skaters unless you're actually serving as a JRDA lead coach and coaching the whole team. I'm talking to you, Norwegian Persuasion.
Yeah, I know. I gotta watch my tongue on that one, especially when they put a microphone in my hand. You know what I mean?
It's dangerous stuff. All right, looking at our rosters while the gear checks go on for the Rose City Rosebuds. Number 6, Smacky Kennedy. Number 9 is Catnip. 15, Hazard in Training. Number 22, Habanero Romero. Number 23, Ms. Shevius. Number 26, Mace of Grace. 31 is Moaning Murder. Number 33, Bad Advise. Number 101, Juella DeVille. 266, The Barbarian Librarian. Number 418, Moonlight Bandit. 423 is Fatality. Number 777, Rosemary's Baby. 1717, Starship Trooper. And your alternate, number 64, Lady Gotcha.
And skating up for the Santa Cruz Derby Groms, Gromshells. We got number 101, Bruzella DeVille. 15, Bonnie and Collide. 19 is Loose Cannon. 24, Harley Sin. 26, Lil Kill Ya. 3 is Polywana Cracker. 30, Cerberus. 31 is Serene. 36 is Hermione Danger. 52, rolling out Juno You Wanna. 74, R2 Beat 2. 83, Capital Punisher. 89, High Roller. Number 9 is Flower Power. 91 is Kitty Wales. And without further ado, we're about ready to get the action started down here. Again, track 3 here, second day of the Big O. Amazing derby happening on all 3 tracks. And right now, we're not going to slow down one bit as we bring you 2 great junior teams.
Indeed, Gromshells currently ranked 5th in the JRDA's female division. The Rosebuds yet to enter the table, but they will as of May 1st, as they have now completed enough games to jump into the rankings. Rosebuds new to the JRDA as of this season. And that is Bad Advise jamming for Rose City against Bruzella DeVille.
Bad Advise going up front, trying to break her way through that blue wall of defense out there as Bruzella DeVille finds the line on the inside, breaking through to pick up lead jammer.
First lead jammer right out of the box for the Gromshells. And Bad Advise trapped behind the back defense of Santa Cruz, bumped to the outside, had to recycle back. Bruzella DeVille trying for the inside. A little bit of a recycle, but not much. Rosemary's Baby there to throw the shoulder and picking up the high block as well. So Bruzella DeVille clear with 5 points.
First blood has been drawn, and that is going in the favor of the Gromshells. 5 on the board. We're going to put Polywana Cracker out on the line for Gromshells, facing off against 101, Juella DeVille.
This is going to confuse the crap out of me that each team has a 101 whose last name ends in DeVille and rhymes with
I was just thinking
Cruella.
that.
Hopefully they won't square off against each other, but you know it's going to happen.
Hey, spin to win, breaking on through on the inside. We got a number 3 skating through to pick up that lead jammer status. That's going to be Polywana Cracker out there for the Santa Cruz Gromshells.
And Polywana Cracker wide open lane on the inside, rolls through, grabs 4 points, calls off the jam. Santa Cruz now out to the 9-0 lead. And we will reset with the Barbarian Librarian jamming for the Rosebuds.
And Habanero Romero out there.
Or Habanero Romero, sorry. I tried to read it, it's too small. What am I doing?
And number 9 on the line, Flower Power for the Gromshells.
Flower Power's name large enough for me to read with my aging eyes.
Starts out on the inside, jukes to the out, finds a window of opportunity, picks up that lead jammer nod. That's going to be Flower Power.
And the Rosebuds starting off too shy in the pack. Rosemary's Baby out of the penalty box and greeting the Gromshells blockers with a heavy shoulder check.
Flower Power going up against that 3-wall diamond defense by Rose. Gets held back, but skips around the pack, quickly picking up 5 points, calling off the jam before Rose is able to put any points on the board.
And Santa Cruz holding Portland scoreless for the first 3 jams and also grabbing lead jammer in each of those 3. Harley Sin next up to jam for Santa Cruz against Bad Advise for the Rosebuds.
We do have a full track out there. Nobody in the penalty box at this point. Of course, I usually say that right before bad things happen.
Exactly. Someone's going to the box right now.
It's a battle out there. Walled up tight on turn number 1. Final line on the outside, fighting her way through that defense. Number 24 comes out on top, getting the lead jammer nod. That's going to be Harley Sin.
So 4 separate jammers for Santa Cruz Gromshells, 4 lead jammer calls. And Harley Sin through for 5 points. As Bad Advice finally breaks the pack on her initial pass.
Trying to hold that line on the outside. Number 777, Rosemary Baby, pushes Santa Cruz jammer to the outside, turn number 3.
Rosemary's Baby owning the outside line, but another shutout takes us 19-0.
We got probably want a cracker on the line once again for Santa Cruz. She's going to go up against Juella DeVille, number 101.
And once again, back both packs at full strength and both crowding up to the official review line, as I heard it dubbed the other day.
Juella DeVille up front, pushing the entire 4 wall of the Santa Cruz Gromshells around the corner, looking for a crack in that armor to break through and pick up lead jammer status. Just missing the mark. It's going to be Santa Cruz coming out on top, picking up that lead jammer nod, and that's going to be Polly Want a Cracker, number 3.
Polly Want a Cracker, second jam of the evening, second time as lead, as Juella DeVille finally clears the pack on her initial pass. And number 423, Fatality, heads to the penalty box. 2 points up for Santa Cruz. That takes them to 21 total points. Rose City still yet to score. Habanero Romero jamming for the Rosebuds. I got to make sure I get the right one. Bruzella DeVille for Santa Cruz.
Bruzella getting knocked to the infield, recycling back behind that Portland defense, picking them off, trying to work her way through that wall up front. Habanero Romero looking for a window of opportunity to get through that tight Santa Cruz defense, but coming from behind, finding that window, it's going to be Bruzella DeVille getting the lead jammer.
Santa Cruz D again doing the job, pushing her to the outside. That run stopped short by Capital Punisher. And she picks up a penalty in the process, but does hold up Bruzella DeVille, or rather Habanero Romero. Rosemary's Baby taking a hard shot. Jam was called for the injury, so she will have to sit for 3 jams. But good that she's up, and thanks again to our wonderful medical staff all weekend long, keeping everybody as safe as they can. Oh, and a correction, I was wrong. The jam was called off by the jammer, not for the injury. Therefore, Rosemary's Baby not to be held for the 3 jams. That's what I get for jumping the gun on something. I should just wait for the refs to tell me.
We can make our own assumptions. We have microphones.
That's really all the power we have.
That's really it right there. Until they tell us otherwise, that is.
Exactly. Hey, we have a little bowl skate going on tonight at 8 o'clock at the Washington Jefferson Skate Park, hosted by Unity Skate Shop and Chicks in Bowls. Head over to the Big Old Bowl Jam. There will be giveaways, games, and good old-fashioned bowl skating.
I got a little story about Unity Skate Shop.
Do you now?
Unity Skate Shop is an avid supporter of Junior Roller Derby,
Well,
believe it or not.
We like that.
One of the owners is actually a coach of a junior team up north. And she also is an amazing skater in a bowl, let me tell you what. Hey, I'd like to give a shout out to the photographers we have here today, capturing all these amazing moments that are happening on the track. Everybody likes to see their picture taken.
That they do, and a big thanks to Steve Sharkey Mancini for corralling all of the camera peoples. All right, back to it with Bad Advice jamming for the Rosebuds. Serene for Santa Cruz. Each team one shy in the pack, and Serene dances through quickly and is the lead jammer. Bad Advice also clear of the pack. Swoops down and grabs the star that had fallen off her helmet.
Star's back on her helmet. That means she's in position.
But that was the initial pass, as she did not have the star with her when she went through before. So another shutout jam, shutout on both sides. So we stay at 30-0.
Paulie Cracker back out on the line once again. She's going to face off against number 101, Juella DeVille. This is blown action starts. Pack advantage is going to go to Rose. We got one blocker in the box for Santa Cruz.
And the Gromshells again using that Triforce defense at the back, holding up Juella DeVille. As Polly Cracker bumped to the inside and recycled back, but there's a lane on the out and enough acceleration to work her way around Smacky Kennedy. And she is the lead jammer. Santa Cruz undefeated as lead jammer so far this game.
Holding down that status from the get-go. Santa Cruz has definitely proven their jammer abilities here. Not to mention their blocking, as Harley Sinn's out there holding back this Portland
and an excellent
jammer.
rotation to bring Kitty Wales to the front as well. As Lil Killa tries to throw her in, but finally Juella DeVille out of the pack. But 4 points up. And the jam is called off, and we are sitting at 34-0. As we're 8 jams in, and the clock sits at 21.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Rosebuds fielded number 22, Habanero Romero out there. Once again facing off against number 9. That's going to be Flower Power. Habanero Romero moving to the front of this pack, looking for a window of opportunity, but there's a strong 3-well in that diamond formation up there, holding her back right now. She's pushing the pack around the track. As Flower Power finds a window on the outside, jukes to the end to pick up that lead jammer status.
Catnip had to throw on the brakes to make the hit, but that leaves her standing and not able to move to the right quickly enough.
2 blockers left up front. Last line of defense throws a hip check out there. Flower Power spins it off and picks up 5 big points.
And our first star pass of the game as the star slides over number 418, Moonlight Bandit for the Rosebuds.
Excellent track awareness there as Flower Power realizes Moonlight Bandit's coming up on her 6 and approaching the pack. She calls off the jam before any points are able to be scored by the Rosebuds.
But another 9-point jam for Santa Cruz takes them to 43. And the Rosebuds send Bad Advice back out to the line, jamming against Harley Sin. And Harley Sin is clear first and is your lead jammer. Pack moving into the second, through the second turn and down the front. Bad advice finally clear. And Harley Sin hears the call from the bench, calls off the jam, does collect 3 points. And again, Rose City held scoreless.
If you were on track 2 at the last game and you happen to lose your keys, they're kind of easy to recognize. There's a Batman flashlight attached to them, and they belong to a Chevy. If you own a Chevy and you like Batman, you might want to check for your keys.
What if I just want a Chevy and like Batman? Can I still go find those keys?
I just like Batman, so if nobody claims them, I'm taking the Batman flashlight. 101, finding a line on the inside. Rose picking up lead jammer status.
That is Juella DeVille, first lead jammer of the game for the Rosebuds. Jamming for these Derby Groms is Polywana Cracker. And Rosebuds ending their scoring drought as well with a 4-0 run. And that will take them, not surprisingly, to 46-4 with 18 minutes-ish to go in the first half.
Getting through, getting the points on the board and calling off the jam before any more points are picked up by Santa Cruz. Now they're on the board, going to try and live up to that momentum a little bit.
Exactly, and very clean game on the jammer side. No jammer penalties yet. And now that I've said it, it's going to be nothing but power jams the rest of the game.
Well, we got Habanero Romero out there for Rose, facing off against number 3-1 Serene for the Gromshells.
And Serene pushes everybody in front of her until she's clear of the pack. Lead jammer for Serene and the Gromshells.
We got penalties aplenty out on the track right now as we can send in 2 blockers to the box, 1 from each team. So we're going to come out short stacked in the next round.
We are, and 4 points up for Santa Cruz as Serene took a hip, kept the feet inbounds, but goes to the knees, wisely calls off the jam. As Habanero Romero was approaching quickly, we reset with bad advice, jamming for Rose City and Bruzella DeVille for Santa Cruz.
Whistles blowing, bad advice, shooting to the outside, diving to the in, attacking that defense, but coming straight through the middle. We got lead jammer status going to go to Santa Cruz Gromshells. Number 101, that's going to be Bruzella DeVille.
And bad advice goes to one leg, but keeps the foot in bounds, so no cut track penalty there, although she did get bumped. Also catches up, forces Bruzella DeVille to call off the jams. 0-0 run. Keeps us at 50-4.
Now we got Juella DeVille out on the line for Rose, going up against Polywana Cracker for the Gromshells. 3-on-3 on that defensive line, short stack on the track. Juella DeVille going to the inside, shooting to the out, gets tied up in that Santa Cruz defense. Polywana Cracker finding a window, wide open on the inside, breaks through and picks up lead jammer status.
The crowd was, or the pack rather, a little distracted by some whistles being blown and moved to the outside. And this time, Polywana Cracker, again, Gromshells opening up the inside. Rolls her through for 5 as Juella DeVille finally breaks free.
I believe that was a cut track penalty picked up there by number
I believe it
T3.
was. I saw the whistle, or heard the whistle rather, saw the pointing. So our first power jam, power start of the game. As we sit 59-4. Serene will take the star to start off on this power start.
All right, power start and short stack for Rose on the defense line. Serene going to find a win on the inside to get through and get that lead jammer status quickly, taking full advantage of this power start.
The 3 defense rolling forward. Rosemary's Baby takes a big shoulder from number 26, Lil Killa. And that breaks Serene free for 5 points.
Catnip going in for a swing and a miss on that one. Serene slides around, attacks this pack once again, trying to put some more points on the board. Holds the line on the inside, last line of defense. Shoots to the end, picks up 5 big points.
And Joella DeVille out of the penalty box now and through Serene. Beautiful bit of left and right slalom skating to collect 4 on her last pass. And the Rosebuds call for a timeout as they now sit 73-4 after that 14-point run.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to Hit This Derby Gear. Derby owned and operated. Before you hit the track, hit this. Visit the store in Salem, Oregon, or online at hitthisderbygear.com.
And I want to give a shout out to the Big O Door crew. These people working their butts off to get you in the door. They're hanging out in the lobby. They're missing some amazing roller derby, but they are definitely helping us out. And a big shout out to Blue Ruin and Sam, and also Decker Holtz. They're doing great work, as is Maha Callie and all of the door crew. Being very diligent on the wristband checks.
You know, there's a lot of great vendors out here, and there's a lot of great booths out here at the Big O. We've also got Rydell Skates representing. Rydell Skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. They've been making skates since skates.
I believe that's technically true. All right, Flower Power set to jam for the Gromshells. And that is Habanero Romero jamming for the Rosebuds.
Habanero Romero on the inside.
Flower Power just shoving the pack forward, trying to crash it into anyone. And Rosemary's Baby picks up a penalty on that. Didn't see what the call was, but she is headed to the box. So 3 blockers on the track now for the Rosebuds.
Santa Cruz Flower Power definitely showing her power as she pushes this pack through the apex of that last corner.
And she is on a power jam as Habanero Romero cuts the track and heads to the box.
Moonlight Bandit, last line of defense, shoots in for a big hit on that one. Flower Power shoots by, picking up full pass.
And the Derby Groms offense waving at her as if they wanted to ride. But then they just let her go right by before rolling forward to knock open some space.
That pack is picking up speed out there on the track. Flower Power trying to work her way around, pick some points up after making her initial pass and picking up the lead jammer status.
That she is this time. That shake 'em up, knock things around worked. But unfortunately, she went to the ground and now got reabsorbed. And Rosemary's Baby now back to hold up. As Habanero Romero out of the penalty box and clear on her initial pass. Flower Power sees her coming, calls off the jam.
Habanero pushing through and speeding around that track. Flower Power just fighting through that 4 wall. Rose's defense tightening up on that corner. She sees her coming and calls off the jam.
Yes, very good defense by Rose on that last run, holding the power jam to just 5 points.
Probably want to crack her out there this time going against Bad Advice. It's a battle of the threes. We got all skaters on the track, 5-on-5 on the flat track.
And again, Pack giving the jammers a run up, starting up at the pivot line.
Excellent track awareness, realizing that she gets pushed to the infield. She recycles back, quickly reassessing the damage out there as the defense from Rose walls up tight in between turn 1 and 2. Holding back, Flower. Is that Flower?
Bad Advice, meanwhile, bumped in. Harley Sin running her back, but running back too far. She will head to the penalty box for the out of play. And Bad Advice bumped to the infield and has to recycle back. Meanwhile, at the front, Polly Wanna Cracker just practically at a standstill, pushing, trying to get through. And finally does so. Bad Advise looking close to getting out, but no deal. Pollywalla Cracker calls off the jam. I think that would have been quite enough shoving.
Just a toe stop ahead, breaking through that pack right there. We got,
See, I knew it was going to happen
This is a lineup.
Juella DeVille versus Bruzella DeVille, the battle of the 101s.
Devils on the track, lined up on the jam line. Pack advantage going to Portland.
Yes, Rose City with 4, 3 on the line for Santa Cruz as Harley Sins sits the penalty.
Both DeVille's trying to get through the associated defenses, and it's going to be the one coming out on top is going to be Bruzella DeVille coming out from Santa Cruz. But we got Juella DeVille hot on her 6.
Those DeVille sisters, they like to chase each other around. And Juella DeVille spins through, and the toe goes back in bounds, and that is a track cut penalty. And a power jam for Bruzella DeVille.
Bruzella coming to the outside, but Rose's wall lining up all the way across. She goes to jump through that apex, but she goes a little bit too far to the infield, cuts the track. Now she's going to have to find a little time in the box herself.
It will be shortened as Juella's still sitting. Well, she was sitting. Now she's standing, so at least 20 seconds of penalty. And power jam for the Rosebuds.
It's going to be the DeVille do-si-do in there. As one DeVille goes in, the other DeVille must exit.
It's like a matter-antimatter kind of thing. They can't both be in the box at the same time.
They cannot exist in the same space. Hey, but shooting her way through and getting 4 on the board. That's going to be Juella DeVille out there for the Rosebuds.
Juella DeVille now responsible for all of Rose City's scoring, has all 8 of their points. As Bruzella DeVille out of the penalty box and rolls through for 4 of her own. Moonlight Bandit, meanwhile, heading to the penalty box, reducing the Rose City pack down to 3. Rosemary's Baby trying to stop Bruzella DeVille, not able to. 5 points on the second pass, takes her to 9 for the jam. Or perhaps 14 if I actually look. Apparently I missed someone. I wasn't writing things down.
Juella DeVille down here being a pinball in this defense game by Santa Cruz on turn number 4. Bouncing back and forth till the end of that last whistle. Santa Cruz definitely throwing down some defense in this game. Doing an amazing job of holding back Rose's offense. Coming up out of the booth right now, we got Flower Power on the line for Santa Cruz, facing up against Habanero Romero for the Rosebuds.
And a 14-8 jam the last run, 92 Santa Cruz, 12 for Rose City.
With 8 minutes left in this half, both these jammers taking off on the line. Coming out on top, finding a window on the inside. But that's going to be a forearm penalty. She's going to spend a little time in the box. That means we're going to have a power jam out there.
And it's going to be very short as the rare jammer multiplayer block is called. Flower Power going to sit down. So we will swap both no lead jammer, and we'll go another 1 minute and 35 seconds of this jam. What the heck, Norwegian? Why not?
This is definitely going to go the full conclusion, or the full length of this jam. 22 coming in strong. I think she's definitely trying to throw out a little bit more offense to get through this 4-wall Santa Cruz defense that has proven to be a lot of work.
And
track penalty.
The run back works perfectly, and Habanero Romero heads back to the penalty box on the cut track. She knew it the minute she stepped back in and saw the skater running back. So power jam for number 9, and Flower Power only 2 blockers to beat, easily through for 5.
Definite short stack on the track for Portland right now with those 2 blockers in the box. Flower Power making the most out of it, going from the outside to the end, picking up 5 in the sky. Another grand slam out there for Santa Cruz.
And again with no lead jammer. That jam rolled to its conclusion.
All right, we'll step it out on the track for Santa Cruz. We got number 3. That's Polly Cracker out there once again. Polly Cracker been putting on a juking clinic out here tonight as she goes from the outside to the in. Her lateral movements are just quick and aggressive as she tries to work her way through that Portland defense right now.
Meanwhile, Habanero Romero out of the penalty box and engaged as well. Ooh, Polly Cracker almost ducked under Rosemary's Baby's hips, but got too low and landed her butt side out of bounds, so she has to recycle back.
Big shoulder right there by number 423. That's Fatality, knocking Polly Cracker to the infield. She's forced to recycle back behind that pack, quick on her feet, looking for a window. She does just that. Breaks through, picks up the points, and calls off the jam.
That was actually picking up lead jammer. She hadn't emerged yet. Star pass off to Rosemary's Baby. So as soon as she was out, she calls off the jam. So a 0-0 run.
Stand corrected.
We sit at 102-12. And we'll reset with Serene jamming for the Gromshells. Bad advise for the Rosebuds.
Serene getting knocked to the infield quickly by number 423. Fatality coming in with a big shoulder on that one.
Beautifully timed hit from Fatality. Left a hint of an opening, but not enough. Lead jammer, bad advise of the Rose City Rosebuds.
That was a key play in this jam. Fatality knocking the jammer to the infield, giving 33 the opportunity to push through. Bad advice picking up that lead jammer status. Rosebud defense is on point right now as they're holding back that Santa Cruz jammer.
And that is our first 5-point pass for the Rosebuds and our first star pass for the Gromshells. As Serene heads to the penalty box as a blocker. High roller now. Star in hand. Struggling to work through. Bad advice. Knocked to the infield. Has to recycle back behind the rest of the pack.
High roller pushing that wall out. Extending it as far as he can. Finding a window on the inside. Can she hold the line? That skate did roll in a little too far into that infield, and she came right back out on the track, giving her a cut track penalty.
And meanwhile, bad advise on the far end of the track calls off the jam. So we will have a power start for Rose City with High Roller sitting in the penalty box as the jammer. And a new jammer on the track for the Rosebuds, Moonlight Bandit with the star for the first time tonight.
418 on her lonesome out there. Moonlight Bandit getting pushed to the inside. Looking for a little help from her friends, trying to get a window of opportunity in that Santa Cruz defense. Just like that, squeaks on through and picks up that lead jammer nod.
Portland now going with the passive-aggressive offense, starting back, sending a skater forward to try and break things up, and Moonlight Bandit, easy as pie, through the pack 5-point pass.
Making the most out of this power jam. She's not only got the lead jam status, but picked up 5 points before the other jammer was able to come back out on the track.
Meanwhile, out of the penalty box and re-engaged is High Roller, who passes the star off. And Rosemary's Baby picking up a penalty on the way, but the star now on the helmet of Harley Sin.
Harley Sin definitely taking some abuse on that pass as she was working her way through the pack. Pack advantage, pack awareness. We got the call off by Moonlight Bandit, who picked up 7 points on that jam before calling it off, taking full advantage of that power start.
And that takes Rose City to 28. Santa Cruz sitting at 102. And we've got an official review. This official review brought to you by our fabulous officials crew. Thank you to all of our officials, both in stripes and in the pink shirts. They have been making sure everybody gets pointed at correctly and written down on pieces of paper correctly and ending up on scoreboards correctly.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's any officials that deserve a round of applause, it's roller derby officials. Let's make some noise for these people. What do you say? This is a 100% volunteer sport. These kids wouldn't be out here doing this if these people weren't on the track wearing those stripes and those pink shirts. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Tybach Productions. Tybach Production Services, or who's making it possible for those of you at home to watch all the action happening down here on the flat track this weekend. And I do believe they're doing an amazing job of it.
All right, the Gromshells requesting a review of the scoring on that last run, contesting that what was scored as a 5-point pass should be a 4. And as soon as the head ref is done, we will let you know what the answer was. All right, after review, it was determined that the 5 was in fact correct for reasons that were explained, and I have now forgotten. It had something to do with someone else coming out of the box and coming in. Oh, she's going to tell you on the microphone. Holy cow.
The blue team contested the 5-point pass, contesting whether or not that the white jammer got a box point. The points are correct, and they will stand. They do not retain their official review.
And with just a couple minutes left in the first half, that's okay. They'll get another one in the second half.
Exactly. You don't get to take it with you.
Probably want a cracker out there chomping at the bit to get her skate on.
She was ready to go.
That was just a practice run.
And she's jamming against Habanero Romero.
Habanero Romero finding that line on the inside, breaking through and getting that lead jammer nod.
And that is 3 straight lead jammers for the Rosebuds, as the Rosebuds finally waking up and putting on a run towards the end of this half. Habanero Romero hops through, taps the hips, calls off the jam, 4 points up. And that, if my math is correct, will take the Rose City Rosebuds to 32 points.
Picks them up and puts them down before any points are picked up by Santa Cruz. Chomping away at that deficit right now. Only 70 points separating these two teams. We do have a complete other half left.
That we do, and we've got the DeVille sisters back on the line. Bruzella and Juella. Maybe they're cousins, probably cousins.
DeVille shooting to the inside. DeVille going right down the middle. DeVille picking up lead jammer.
What do you know? Juella DeVille out as lead jammer, 4th straight jam of lead jammering for the Rosebuds.
That is some impressive DeVilling, if I do say so myself. Juella going to the outside over there, catching a shoulder, but not before she gets her hips by and picks up 3 points for Rose City. Calls off the jam before Santa Cruz is able to get on the board in that one.
Not quite catching that 4th as the hips ran ahead of her. But we've got Moonlight Bandit back on the line for Rose City. Polly want a cracker for Santa Cruz.
And that's a full track out there, 4-on-4 on that pivot line. Habanero Romero trying to fight her way through the Santa Cruz defense, but who's going to come out on top? That's going to be Polywana Cracker.
No, it's not. She has the no pass, no penalty, not lead jammer. Even though I made a check mark on my sheet, that doesn't count. She does have a beautiful apex hop to pick up 5 points, however.
That is true.
That ends a 4-jam scoreless streak for Santa Cruz.
Oh, finding that line once again, picking up 5 in the sky. That's another grand slam for Santa Cruz. All natural, no preservatives, no additives. All skaters are in play.
And again, swooping in for a third pass. Slowed down a bit this time as Rosemary's Baby there with the hips, joined by Fatality and number 23, Ms. Shevius.
Santa Cruz defense just locking it up tight out there right now for the Rose City Jammer.
Indeed, Rose City now bringing Smacky Kennedy into play as well.
Moonlight
Again,
Bandit.
slowing down. Oh, and they do draw the cut. As Smacky Kennedy able to bump Polywana Cracker out and back up just enough. So the
Rosemary Baby donning the star for Rose.
And she is clear and on a scoring pass, but no lead jammer. So we got 33 more seconds of jam time to go.
That will be the last jam of this half.
That it will. Period clock already ended. Oh, Rosemary's Baby takes a huge shoulder shot from number 26, Little Killa.
26 did take a knee on that one, so she got a no pass, no penalty on that. Did not get the cut.
Exactly, and gets the 4 points. Not the 5 as expected because of that one missed, but still clear of the pack and adding points, and that's what matters.
Santa Cruz locking up once again down here on turn number 3. That defense holding back Rosemary Baby, but she does pick up 1 more point before that jam is called. 5 points going up to Santa Cruz at the end of this first half. We're sitting at 117 in favor of Santa Cruz, to 40 for Rose City Rosebuds.
And we will take a 10-minute break and be back with the second half.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
Roller Derby Athletics takes the guesswork out of off-skate training, helping you become safe, strong, and unstoppable. Here's what skaters from around the world are saying.
Lots of great advice and things that helped me after I broke my ankle and had
I've lost 90 pounds and discovered my A game.
Love that site and the
workouts.
rehab has been amazing. It's really worth the investment in her
Booty Quake
programs.
rocks. You won't regret the investment.
Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program and transform your game with roller derby athletics.
A lot of very impressive people in roller derby.
This was definitely a proud moment for me, wearing the black, white, and red.
I care about this thing more than I care about any other article of clothing in my wardrobe.
This represents to me like 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
Glitter is fun and hardcore. I've learned that it's hardcore.
My uniform is always in pristine condition.
My truck is purple, my shoes are purple, my underwear are purple.
It takes a lot of drive and a lot of passion to keep going in roller derby.
Sometimes when you play roller derby, you're just kind of like, why am I doing this? This is so weird.
I just can't imagine that I'd get more kicks like playing golf than I do hitting a Feels good.
My name is Rachel Rotten.
My name is Midge Wilhelm.
I'm Fifi Nomenon.
I'm Jackie Daniels.
My name's Steph Maney.
Hi, I'm Scald Eagle.
And S1.
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 And S1 is part of my uniform.
The Arius Platinum is packed with new features. Reinforced toe section. Increased toe stop clamping power. Winged truck with split cushion design for easy assembly and installation. The new Arius Platinum, performance redefined.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today testing helmets to see if they pass the multiple impact certification test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. There's a soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner. There's a hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program.
Hi, Ivana Bacon and Trish the Dish here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our living room in 2005 and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot warehouse and showroom where we stock everything for derby. If it's derby related, we probably have it. Need help? With a combined on-track derby experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell and we know the difference between facts and our opinions. We're always happy to share both with you to help you make the right decisions. So call us, SinCitySkates.com.
I love teamwork when it comes naturally, and it's almost like your teammate is an extension of your own body. That anticipation, where you've worked cerebrally through strategy and skills, and suddenly you're out there in a game and it all comes naturally because you know each other. I love that.
So when I first went into Fast Girl Skates, it was like being a kid in a candy
I skate
shop.
on the Antic AR1 boot with Crazy Venus plates and add-on B-Rod wheels.
As I've grown as a skater, Fast Girl has also helped my skates to grow with me.
What's your favorite thing that you got at the store?
Probably my gear. I'm Double Megs, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Vex Factor, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm a Salted Peanut, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Afro Jammer, and I'm a Fast Girl.
You can be a Fast Girl, too.
Skaters, lost your mouth guard? Hit this. Time for an upgrade? Hit this. New to Derby and not sure where to start? Hit this. We are Derby owned and operated with 6 years of experience. Hit This Derby Gear can hook you up with skates, gear, and honest advice based on your skating style and individual needs. Visit us at our store in Salem, Oregon, or online at www.hitthisderbygear.com. Whether you are a new or veteran skater, before you hit the track, hit this.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty cool. All right, getting back into the action down here on track number 3. Once again, for those of you tuning in at home, we've got the Rose City Rollers Rosebuds facing off against the Gromshells from Santa Cruz. First half, the Gromshells came out ahead, picking up 117 points. Rosebuds picking up the momentum a little at the end of that first half, sitting at 40 points right now.
Nobody in too big a foul trouble. Rosebuds have one with 3 and one with 4. Groms have one with 3, 19-10 on the penalty count. Rose City in the lead in that particular category, or perhaps trailing, depending on if it's a golf scoring system or not.
The coaches have decided to screw with the announcers, and once again putting the DeVille sisters out on the line. Juella and Bruzella. DeVille. Bruzella happens to be the one coming out on top on this one, picking up that lead jammer nod.
I will say the Gromshells bench, now that they're closer to us, very loud. Nice work, ladies. Bruzella rolling in, Juella giving chase. Bruzella hits the hips. Oh, and Portland with the steal, 4-1, as Juella and DeVille able to sneak in those 4 points right before the whistle blew.
Oh, the DeVille sisters. They've been going at it for years.
So that takes us to 44 Rose City, 118 Santa Cruz.
We got Rosemary Baby out there for Rose, facing off against number 3, Polly Want a Cracker.
Rosemary's Baby had the star on the star pass at least once early in the first half. First time jamming from the line. Fatality with the run back, thought she had caught Polly Want a Cracker, but not quite. As Polly bumped again to the inside.
Polly Want a Cracker, knowing exactly where she is on the track at all times, it's amazing as she pirouettes around these blocks to hold the line, just like that, getting through on that initial pass once again.
Did have the no pass, no penalty, so not lead jammer. That is still available, and Rosemary's Baby now gets the indication, taps the hips to call off the jam. But Polly Want a Cracker picks up 2, and that takes Santa Cruz to 120.
Flower Power and Habanero Romero out on the line, facing off against each other. We got a full track out there. Penalty box is empty.
Santa Cruz ref checking in. Or Santa Cruz coach, rather. The refs checking in with each other. And Habanero Romero pushing to the front. Flower Power tied up at the back. As Habanero Romero bumped out and has to recycle back almost to where her team is. As Rose City tightening up.
That Santa Cruz defense coming up front on turn number 2. Stretching out right now as Habanero Romero pushes that line to its limits. Gets out of the pack, picking up lead jammer status.
And that was multiplayer block sending high roller to the penalty box. As Flower Power now clear of the pack. Habanero Romero through for points, hits the hips, 4-0 run.
Pushes her way right through that, picking up those points, calling off the jam before Santa Cruz is able to get on the board in that jam. Coming out on the line right now, Harley Sin's going to face off against number 33, Bad Advise for the Rosebuds.
And an official timeout called.
Hey, let's not forget, we got an after party tonight. 80s dance party at Blair Alley Arcade, 10 p.m. No cover, 245 Blair Boulevard, just steps away from the big old bowl jam, which again, the big old bowl jam, 8 p.m., Washington Jefferson Skate Park.
And a late change out as Habanero Romero gets a late back block penalty, we believe, and she will start off in the penalty box. So Harley Sin on the power start.
Making quick work of that power start, coming out on the inside line, picking up that lead jammer status for the Santa Cruz Groms.
Groms breaking a 2 straight lead jammer run by Rose City. Lead jammer now even for the half, and Harley Sin taps the hips, calls off the jam, collects the 5, and freezes Habanero Romero in the penalty box for a 3rd jam. Well, 2nd jam with the penalty, but still.
Well, that's going to give Pollywanna Cracker the opportunity at a power start out here for the Gromshells. Slight pack advantage going to go to the Rosebuds. Jammer poised and ready to go in the box.
Pack lined up all the way up at the pivot line.
4-2-3 with a big hip check on that one. Fatality taking Pollywanna Cracker down on turn number 1.
And Habanero Romero again a little hot in, was aiming for the side of the hip, but caught her square in the back, and that is another back block.
It looks like she knew it coming into that pack, a little bit too hot, taking the penalty. Once again, increasing this power jam situation. Pollywanna Cracker finding that line on the inside for 5.
Pollywanna Cracker lead jammer and on the power jam, now looking around the outside. Fatality throws out the hip, bumps her out, but she takes a knee as well. So only 4 points on the pass, but very good track awareness again from Pollywanna Cracker, knowing that the blocker had gone down and she could just run back in. And that takes us to 134-48.
Fatality definitely earning her keep on the track out here this afternoon. And you know what? She's going to come back again as we do have number 22 fielding in the penalty box. Habanero Romero once again in the box. Bruzella DeVille lining up on the jam line for Santa Cruz Gromshells.
Bruzella DeVille pushing towards the outside. As Habanero Romero dives through the middle, passes the star off to Bad Advise. Bad Advise not eligible for lead jammer. She was not wearing the star. Bruzella DeVille is. Gets through, calls off the jam. But a scoreless jam 0-0 with 23 minutes and 40 seconds to go. 48 points for the Rosebuds, 134 Santa Cruz.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout.
And maybe official review even called by the Gromshells, I believe. Meanwhile, for those of you curious, over on track 2,
Santa Cruz has requested an official review about the Star Pass, looking for an illegal Star Pass.
All right, so a review of the Star Pass and a review of the score of the Helsinki Roller Girls versus Rat City. Rat City currently leading 121-50 at halftime. no idea what's going on in track 1. They're dead to me over there.
You
Too
could
far
turn into
away.
one of those multi-lettered channels and check that one out.
That's right.
Once again, this is the second day of this 3-day event here in Eugene, Oregon. Big O every year has just proven to be an amazing tournament for both adults and juniors. This year we're having an amazing junior showing right here on this track between Portland and Santa Cruz. But 3 tracks of action.
The white jammer passed the helmet cover while she was on her knees and therefore has been issued a star pass violation. The Santa Cruz will retain their official review.
All right. Once again, got to be both standing and in bounds for that star pass to be legal. So Habanero Romero again. Starting in the penalty box, Serene set to jam for Santa Cruz.
All defensive skaters are on the track. It looks like Santa Cruz is going to take a stationary position at the start of that jam. Serene fighting her way through, but that pack is speeding up. She's getting knocked to the outside. Turn number 1 comes back in, picks up that lead jammer nod for the Santa Cruz Gromshells.
And Serene dodging to the inside, takes a shoulder. Not a clean run through. And bouncing off Fatality. With a little assist from Catnip holding her back.
That 3-wall up there has really proven to be difficult for Serene to push through. She's working hard, finally makes it out of that pack. 5 points going on the board for Santa Cruz.
And Joella DeVille receiving the star while standing up, but then knocked flat to the ground. As Serene bumped to the inside, just barely, Catnip closes the door and Fatality backs her back up.
Joella DeVille right now just fighting to get through this pack. Santa Cruz is holding her back, forming that wall like a brick house, not letting her get an inch on the track, but
not at all.
pushing her way through.
Loose Cannon and Kitty Wales doing a great job on the back with the kickstand assist from the pivot, whose number I missed.
Well, then we look at the Rose defense, and they're doing an awesome job holding Serene back as well. Serene does find a crack in that armor, but coming up to her defense, 4-2-3 comes out of nowhere. Fatality with a hip check, sent her to the outside on turn number 3-2.
Beautiful run up by Fatality. The shoulder out and the stop inbounds and run back. Everything you're looking for in a blocker, but 5 points up for Serene. Takes her to 10 for the jam, 144-48.
Bad advice out on the line against Paulie won a cracker. Pack advantage going to go in favor of the Rosebuds as this whistle's blown.
We've got Kitty Wales sitting in the penalty box to start the jam.
Lil Killia coming out with a hip check, quickly sending Bad Advice to the infield. Bad Advice recycles back. Now she's just pushing her way through that pack. Aggressive, pushing those toe stops to their limits. Paulie won a cracker getting knocked around inside that pack while Bad Advice gets through to pick up that lead jammer status for the Rosebuds. Paulie won a cracker getting pushed out down on turn 2, forced to recycle back behind that pack. We got number 266 going to spend a little time in the penalty box. That's Barbarian Librarian.
Yeah, she's joining Starship Trooper as well, so only 2 blockers on the track currently for Rose City. Fortunately for them, one of them Rosemary's Baby, and the other Smacky Kennedy. But Bad Advise rolls through, grabs 5 points. That takes them to 53. And with 20 minutes to go, 53-144.
We got Moonlight Bandit on the line, facing off against Flower Power for Santa Cruz. Slide pack advantage in favor of Santa Cruz. They've only got 1 blocker in the box. Rose fielding 2 in the penalty box at the start of this jam. Big shoulder coming out from number 9 as Santa Cruz blazes on through that pack to pick up lead jammer status once again.
The 9-on-9 battle, and Flower Power comes out on top. Catnip dropped to the ground, and Flower Power steps over, and now she is through for 5 points. That's a big hip shot, sending Moonlight Bandit to the ground, but not out of bounds.
Flower Power just shooting to the outside, skating unopposed, picks up some points, calls off the jam. 4 more on the board, holding Rose to 0. 9 points total for Santa Cruz in that jam.
And that takes Santa Cruz to a 100-point lead, 153-53. And a quick jam as well. We're down to 19 minutes to go in the game. Pollywanna Cracker jamming for Santa Cruz. Juella DeVille for the Rosebuds.
Juella DeVille going from the inside to the out, finding a window of opportunity, picking up lead jammer status. Rose City Rosebuds.
But Pollywanna Cracker through super quick as well, as the pack's trying to reform as these jammers coming in hot. Juella DeVille hits the hips and hits the hips and picks up one of those hips, taking us to 54-153.
Harley Sin facing off against Bad Advise on the jammer line out there. We got a small pack advantage in favor of Santa Cruz once again. We got 17-17 in the box. Starting this jam out, that's Starship Trooper. Harley Sin going from the middle, working her way to the inside line, but she gets pushed almost out, holds the line on the inside, facing off against 2 blockers that push her to the outside. That's number 9, Catnip, with a big hip check, given the opportunity to number 33, Bad Advise, to break through and pick up that lead jammer nod.
It was the Rosebud double tap fatality with the first hit. Catnip knocking her out of bounds. Fatality again there to close things down. And Kitty Wales kickstanding the Santa Cruz defense.
I'm going to tell you, Scott, some of these hits, I feel them in my joints when they hit the ground.
Exactly. And Cerberus with the run back after Bad Advise bumped out of bounds, rolls her all the way back so that Serene and Kitty Wales can lock back up. You got High Roller rather holding the front of that line, as both jammers now back in the back of the pack.
Fatality with a hip check on that one, knocking Harley Sin to the outside, recycling her back behind number 9, Catnip.
Both defenses really tightening up here, and Bad Advise has had enough. Taps the hips to call off the jam. Did collect all 5 points, but burned some time off the clock. 16:40 to go, 59-153. And Barbarian Librarian rolls into the penalty box to start out. Pollywanna Cracker set to jam for Santa Cruz. Rosemary's Baby for the Rosebuds.
Pollywanna Cracker moving to the inside, aggressively attacking that 3-wall defense of Rose City. But you know what? That's going to give Rosemary Baby the opportunity to shoot on through and pick up that lead jammer nod for Rose City.
And a power jam as well as the back block, sending Pollywanna Cracker to the box. And Rosemary's Baby knocked to the ground, calls off the jam. She's had lead jammer twice in her 2 jams. Did not pick up any points, but does lock Pollywanna Cracker in the penalty box and gives Starship Trooper, jamming for the first time, a power start.
Going to be slide pack advantage in favor of Portland on this one, as not only... Oh, my bad. Pack advantage is going to Santa Cruz, but we do have a power start in favor of Portland.
Too many coaches between us and the box. Can't see who's where. Starship Trooper, we can see that. She is out of the pack. It is your lead jammer. She, like Rosemary's Baby, batting 1,000 on lead jammer.
These junior skaters, we're watching them go from the outside to the in, lateral movements, making the most out of that track, finding the window to get through to get whatever they have to get off that track instead of just trying to push through and power out like we see a lot of the adults do. It's because they're limber at this age.
Exactly. No stiffness there. Starship Trooper was bumped to the infield, had to back up and attempt it again as Polywana Cracker out of the penalty box and finds her way around the three wall of Rose City.
Polywana Cracker taking the hits and holding the line on the outside on that one.
Starship Trooper takes a heavy shoulder knock to the ground, calls off the jam. 4 points up for Portland, a 4-0 run. Takes us to 63 to 153.
We got the dynamic DeVille duo on the jammer line once again. 101 on 101. Jewel and Bruzella.
And the Santa Cruz fans making themselves known. Bruzella DeVille tiptoes around Rosemary's Baby and is clear lead jammer, but Jewella cuts across the middle to catch up and end up in front.
Last time we saw this combination, they both came through that pack, but it was Portland that came out on top, 4-1 on that one. No points scored on this jam, however. Bruzella says we're not going to do that again, calls it off before the points are scored.
Exactly. She was checking in with her bench, and the bench said, yeah, let's call that now.
That's a battle of threes out there right now. We got Bat Advise against Polywana Cracker. Penalty box is empty at the start of this jam.
And Rose City lining up towards the back. Bad Advice through quickly. Lead jammer Rosebuds.
Polywana Cracker still trying to fight her way through that defense of the Rosebuds. Finally doing so.
Meanwhile, Mischievous heads to the penalty box, thinning the Rosebuds pack down. Bad Advice tries to hold on, can't quite, and calls off the jam as she rolls out of bounds with 4 points.
Once again, 17-17 out on the line. That's Starship Trooper. She's going to face off against Bruzella DeVille again. Looks like we're going to get a timeout on this one.
Yes, Santa Cruz requesting a timeout. Craning my neck to look at the scoreboard. This is their first timeout of the game. So they have 2 remaining, as does Portland.
We've got 12 minutes left in this game. How many Rosebud fans do we have in the house tonight? That's a lot of competition out there for those Santa Cruz fans. Oh, it's pretty tied up. I don't know. How many Derby fans we got in the house tonight? And that's all that really counts, right? It's great having so much support for all these skaters out here doing what they've got this passion for. Once again, 17-17 Starship Trooper out there facing off against Bruzella DeVille. Slight pack advantage going in favor of Santa Cruz as we have one skater in the box for Rosebuds. Bruzella DeVille going from the outside, shooting right down the middle of that defense for Portland. Portland locking up tight, sending her to the outside down past turn number 1. 17-17, still trying to get through that locked up 4-wall. A diving defense that Santa Cruz has been using all evening, doing an amazing job, giving the opportunity for Santa Cruz jammer to push her way through. That's Bruzella DeVille picking up lead jammer status.
Bruzella DeVille, 3 of 4 lead jammers in this half. And I'm too lazy to go back to the last half to check. And she has bumped, feels the foot go over the tape, chooses to call off the jam and maintain that out of bounds status. 3 points. Ends a bit of a scoring drought of a couple of jams and takes the Gromshells to 156, Rosebuds 67.
1-0 and Juella DeVille out there facing off against Flower Power from Santa Cruz. Pack advantage in favor of Portland. Santa Cruz is fielding one of their blockers in the box at the start of this jam. Whistle's blowing as both of those jammers were poised and ready to go at that jammer line. 1-1 up front, trying to fight her way through that three-wall defense of Santa Cruz. Meantime, we got number 9 back there trying to fight her way through that Portland defense. 4-wall locked up tight. But who's going to come out on top? That's going to be Rosebuds. 1-1 Juella DeVille picking up that lead jammer status.
Exactly. High roller doing all she could to slow her down, but finally got pushed out of play and had to let her go. And this time through super quickly, Juella DeVille. 5 points for the Rosebuds.
Flower Power still trying to fight through that Rosebud defense. They're locked up tight out here using that 3-star formation with number 6 pushing her to helping push those blockers to the side. 1-1 up front, a couple skaters left to get through to put those points on the board, and just like that, that's another 5-point pass in favor of Juella DeVille.
That'll take the Rosebuds to 77. As they're narrowing down the gap, but only a little over 10 minutes to go in the half.
Juella DeVille bumping to the outside, shooting to the end, finding a line through the middle. Gets 4 points and calls off the jam before any points are picked up by Santa Cruz on that one. Looks like it's a 14-point jam for the Rosebuds.
Indeed, it was 81-156. And Polywana Cracker with the star for Santa Cruz. Bad advice for Rose City. Bad advice swoops around the side of her line, and Polywana Cracker tries to do the same, but takes a hip check, bumped out of bounds. Bad advice, meanwhile, trapped at the front behind the Santa Cruz defense.
Polywana Cracker trying to spin her way through that pack, and I think she did just that. Finding a line, moving through the outside, picking up lead jammer status for Santa Cruz. 2 blockers going to the box simultaneously right now. 26 for Santa Cruz and 6 for the Rosebuds.
That is Mason Lil Killa and Smacky Kennedy.
Pauly with a little dip to the outside, gets low, pops up on the outside, puts the points on the board, 4 big ones, then calls off the jam.
And that takes Santa Cruz to 160.
We're going to see Starship Trooper out here once again, facing off against Juella DeVille.
Three on 3 in the pack as each team with 1 in the penalty box. And Juella DeVille finds the gap on the outside. Lead jammer, Derby Groms. Meanwhile, Starship Trooper trying to find a gap on the inside. Nothing doing. 5 fingers up for Juella DeVille. That takes the Gromshells to 165.
Starship Trooper just fighting her way through this Santa Cruz defense right now. Lil Killia on the outside with a big hip check to Starship Trooper. Starship Trooper moving to the inside. Now she's forced to fight off this 4-wall once again. As Juella DeVille rounds the track, putting the points on the board.
And Serene with a nice closing of the door on the outside there. Serene doing double duty today, both jamming and blocking. Starship Trooper passes the star off to Rosemary's Baby, who is now on a power jam as Juella DeVille cuts the track. So we got 41 more seconds of jam for Rosemary's Baby to roll through and collect some points for the Rosebuds.
Rosemary Baby just going to push this pack all the way around that track till she gets some points on the board. Bridging out the Santa Cruz defense.
And holding tight with that kickstand blocking sled move. Finally have to let Rosemary's Baby go. 5 points up. for the Rosebuds as the power jam comes to an end, and Brazella DeVille hits the gap perfectly, and she is through for 5 more.
Make out of the most out of the last couple seconds on that jam. Brazella DeVille hits that 5 in the sky before the whistle is blown. No more points going to Rose, but that was 5 points on the board for Rose, 15 going up for Santa Cruz.
So an 86 to 175 score with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game. Polly Wanna-Cracker set to jam for Santa Cruz against Joella DeVille for the Rose City Rosebuds, and a timeout called by the Derby Groms. So looking at yesterday's performance by these teams, Santa Cruz lost yesterday to Emerald City. Rose City won their game, which I believe was against Angel City. Yes, the Angel City A-listers.
Great part about Junior Derby, we also have junior refs out here. We got 3 junior refs on the track representing Junior Roller Derby out here. Once again, without the refs, we couldn't have this amazing sport called roller derby. Otherwise, it'd just be a bunch of kids skating in circles.
Then you can do that any night at your local rink. Well, any night that there's an open skate, that is.
Usually there's a disco ball involved, too.
Oh, yeah.
Right now we got Polly Wanna-Cracker back out on the line facing off against Joella DeVille. Just a few minutes left in this game. Lead jammer status going to Polly Wanna-Cracker once again. Santa Cruz Gromshells.
Polly Wanna-Cracker very quick into the pack, but then runs right into fatality and slows her right down. Joella DeVille clears the pack. Polly Wanna-Cracker sees her bench signaling the call off, taps the hips, 5 points up. And that takes Santa Cruz to 180. And Rose City holding steady at 86. And we'll reset with Brazella DeVille jamming for Santa Cruz against Bad Advise for the Rosebuds.
Whistles blow to action starts. Brazella DeVille moving to the inside line. Bad Advise trying to find a window of opportunity through that Santa Cruz defense. They're piled up tight down between turn 1 and 2. But who's going to come out on top? That's going to be Brazella DeVille for Santa Cruz.
Indeed it is. She just sort of tiptoed right over someone's leg to break through that pack. Meanwhile, Bad Advise also stretches things out and is through. As Brazella DeVille rolls up to the pack, flaps the arms, takes an extra little shot from number 31, Moaning Murder. Calls off the jam. 2-0 run. 182 to 86 now.
Harley Sin on the line for Santa Cruz. She's going to be facing off against number 2 Habanero Romero.
Habanero Romero, of course, had that big bit of penalty run of several jams in a row earlier, of ending up in the box and then having to stay in the box. Harley Sin cutting towards the inside. Habanero Romero, cuts the track. And she will go to the box, and that, unfortunately, is her 7th penalty. And Habanero Romero has fouled out of the game. As soon as her penalty is served, she will be rolled off to the side. Meanwhile, Harley Sin through and is lead jammer.
Harley Sin picking up that lead jammer with 1:18 left in this game. Again, Habanero Romero has fouled out. in the jam.
Yes, that's a minute in the jam, not in the game. We got 3 minutes in the game. Harley Sin.
Plenty of time in the game.
With another 5 points. That takes her to 10 for the jam, 192 total for the Gromshells. And let's add another 5 to that as well.
Rallying through, picking up 5 in the sky. 15-point jam right now. Rose defense doing what they can to hold her back, but Harley Sin putting on a clinic out here as she tries to fight her way through this pack. Getting knocked to the outside down on turn number 1. She's quick to get back on her feet.
Yes, that was Moonlight Bandit coming out of nowhere to knock her to the ground, but another 5 up takes her to 20 on the jam and 202 for the Gromshells.
Breaking that double century mark. Big shoulder coming in right there as the Rose defense says we've had enough, knocking her to the outside at the end of that jam.
And Harley Sin adds 3 at the end of 23.2-minute jam as time ran out. No need to call it as Habanero Romero again fouling out early in the jam. So we sit now 205 to 86 with 1 minute 35 seconds to go in the game.
And getting up on the track, on the line, we got Juella DeVille. She's going to be facing off again. It's Polly Wanna-Cracker once again. Polly Wanna-Cracker fighting that window on the inside, pushing through, getting that lead jammer status, making short change on the defense on the track. Juella DeVille coming up quick behind, getting through that wall as well, down past turn number 1. Big shoulder right there to Polly Wanna-Cracker, followed up by a hip, but she holds the line on the inside, pushing through to pick up 4 more points for Santa Cruz.
Polly Wanna-Cracker trying to throw the shoulder check to Catnip's hip, and Catnip's hip won on that one. Meanwhile, Juella DeVille tiptoes through, picks up 4 points. So a 4-4 tie thus far on the jam. Polly bumps into the back and is through. 4 points out.
Juella DeVille just taking a beating down here, but she holds her line on the inside of the track as she works her way around turn number 4, taking the abuse from Santa Cruz defense, putting 4 on the board.
Meanwhile, Polly Wanna-Cracker bumped out and cuts just enough of the corner for a cut track penalty. So she will head to the penalty box, and we will end the game on a power jam, or with a power jam and a full jam. Juella DeVille on the power jam rolls the foot through, picks up 5 points. And that takes the Rosebuds to 99. And our period clock is done, so this is officially the last jam of the game.
Bodies hitting the floor between turn number 1, turn number 2 as that defense heats up. It is the last jam of the evening. That doesn't mean they're going to ease up at all on any of these skaters. Juella DeVille still having to fight her way through this defense. Number 83, last line of defense, Capital Punisher. It's got to let her go by for those 5 big points.
And Polly Wanna-Cracker rolls through for 4 as well. That takes her to 12, and we have come to the end of the game.
Looks like we're sitting at 217 unofficial final, 104 Rose City Rosebuds.
So excellent heavy win by the Santa Cruz Derby Groms, coming back from their loss yesterday.
A lot of hard work put out on this track. Make sure you come trackside, get some Derby love from these athletes, putting it all out there for you this evening.
And we are officially final. Your final score, Santa Cruz Derby Groms 217, Rose City Rosebuds 104. Let's give a big round of applause and collect your free high five from the Santa Cruz Derby Gromshells. And keep your hands out for the Rose City Rosebuds.
That's right, they put it all out on the track for you tonight. Nothing like some amazing junior derby out here. Both of these teams, blood, sweat, and tears on the track this evening. Amazing game again in this 3-day event, second of 3 days here in Eugene, Oregon, the Big O.
And next up on track 3, we've got Lane County Concussion versus Denver in an MRDA match to end the evening of track 3 coverage. That is coming up starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time in roughly 25 minutes.